Hello everybody and welcome to another Krayt raid run video. Today I'm using Mauldalorians with Jango as the 5th instead of Beskar Mando, and there's a couple reasons you want to use Jango, or I prefer using Jango over Beskar Mando. So for me, it's kind of about simplicity. Jango just does great damage with the assist, which happens a lot with Maul calling all his assists, and he double taps if they're debuffed, which is happening a lot of times. He has a simple AoE, which helps control the bombs, and when I use Beskar Mando, he either has a crappy basic, which doesn't do a lot of damage, or the Whistling Birds, which makes it really hard to control when you're blowing up the bombs, which is important with Maul Mandalorians. He also gets a free revive at just the right time. You're not going to be able to get out many stacks of 3 Beskar ingots on characters. You can only get it on 2. I'll talk about which 2. But Jango revives at just the right time and helps you get enough damage at the end, which is when it's harder to get damage, but you really need it. It also just seems to work smoother for me, like I talked about with Bam. It's kind of awkward using him, and I just had way better luck using Jango. Some people, I don't know, maybe they don't want to relic up Bam too much because they like Cad Bane ship going before Bam. So this is nice, and you have usually a Relic 7 Jango from Jedi Master Kenobi. Before I go over the mods and footage, just a few rules to keep in mind for the Maul team. And you've probably seen these before. You want to evenly knock down the explosives 2 sets at a time to just 1 stacks each, so Maul can refresh his 5 stacks of Anguish when using an AoE. Also, what's super key about this run is you want to keep the dragon under 900,000 damage until the 3rd time it uses its acid attack, and you're going to be able to kill the dragon during its 3rd swallow, because when it has someone swallow, that's the easiest time to attack it. It's slower, and that swallow attack isn't damaging everyone, so it's easier to stay alive. And you want to keep it under 900,000 damage because the dragon's damage scales with how much damage you've done to it, and if you have it much higher than this, it's going to one-shot your whole team, and then you won't get to do more damage. Also, prioritize Bo-Katan's basic for vulnerable. It inflicts vulnerable on her turn. It's great for the assists. Unless you really need to dispel like crit immunity, tenacity up, or knock down some explosives. You're only going to get off 2 stacks of Beskar ingots. The first one you want to give to Maul. The second one you want to give to Bo-Katan. Canderous is actually going to die, but that's fine. Jango does enough damage at the end, and Bo-Katan is needed to heal the team all the way back up to full health for the last push. So super key that you keep her alive there. Okay, so looking at the mods real quick here. First up is Maul. It's kind of a normal modding for Maul. You want him pretty fast. I did up his speed higher than normal. You don't care about crit damage. You want health because he starts to do more damage based on his health. And you want some decent offense too. I got it to 10,700. It's no magic number. I do have R8, but I do think you could do this with R7, R6, maybe even R5, because a lot of the damage is from Jango. Canderous, he happens to have a lot of speed. I do like having some speed on him. It doesn't matter. I just slap my Supreme Leader Kylo Ren mods on him, but his speed actually helped a little bit. Just give your best damage dealing set with crit damage, and he has some survivability with the health. His physical offense, I have at 11,000. That's because he's a Relic 7 too. Armor, you just want the fastest, faster than anyone on your team, just as fast as you can get her, because you're gonna get the armor shreds out there, and you want to cycle back to her turn to give out the armor, and just give her some survivability. These are my Commander Tano mods. Then Bo-Katan, I gave mostly my Afra mods. You want as high potency as you can to land the vulnerable on her basic, and it does get resisted sometimes. And as much speed as you can. You want her like faster than Jango, but slower than Maul and the armor. And Jango, I have it 295. That's close to the minimum. You just want him a little bit faster than the dragon. And these are my normal mods. He's the only character I didn't remod because he already is modded for damage. He doesn't have superstar mods, so 8,760. So if you improve the mods on him, it's going to be a huge improvement for your run too. Okay, so here we have the actual run. I'll try to pause as little as possible, but I might have to pause. The opening sequence is fairly static. Like, you pretty much always want to do the same moves in a row. You want to do the armor shred call to assist with the armor. You want to do the AoE with Maul. You want to basic with Canderous, because you don't want Maul to frenzy yet. You want to inflict vulnerable, and then use the AoE with Jango to get a special off and get the stacks of the bombs down a little bit. And you just unload on him. Target to get to after this first opening salvo, before the Krayt takes his first turn, is like 300,000 damage is what I was able to get to. It's not super important because later on you're going to pass up on damage that you could probably get, that you could probably make up for later when I'm stalling. I think I just used an AoE here, but I'm not sure. No, I used a basic, just trying to get more damage with that vulnerable there. Only lasts 1 turn. And get this first set on Maul. And then he eats the armor, and this is actually when it's easy to kill him. This is where I saved... I think I just did a basic blow up, or no, use a code assist. I blew up 1, then used the rest of the stacks on the dragon, and then you can use the AoE, target the dragon, you can dispel and blow up the remaining 2 bombs and get the 5 stacks. Now the Defiance, you don't really need to use the harpoons because you're going to blow it up anyway. Basic with Jango is the priority, and Canderous too. You want to just be careful how you're knocking down the bombs. You want to be strategic. You want them to be even, so you can knock down 2 at a time with Maul. And Mandalorians, with all their assists, they don't increase the turn meter of the dragon, and you remove that Defiance without even using the whatchamacallit, the harpoons. So at this point, it hasn't even used a single vomit, but it's going to do so now. So it's kind of weird that we're at such a high damage amount, but we still want to keep it under 900,000 until it uses its next barf attack. So I blew up the bombs there. You pretty much have to blow up the bombs here. I used a basic here because you can get a crit with Maul. Get him up to 4 stacks. And then at this point you're stuck just trying to get the dragon out of the ground. I used that call to assist there, used some basics here, but Maul has 5 stacks ready to go. And this is pretty much the only time you could use the rockets from Jango. But I think I'm at this point stalling a little bit because I want it to get to its next barf attack, because if I do too much damage, it's gonna kill you. So even the AoE there was a means to do less damage, and you need Bo-Katan to survive. So give her the ingots, and she's going to help you heal up the whole team. I think I did her AoE to dispel. Yeah, that's to dispel the offense up. And then get the bombs out. They're going to help. They give you extra targets to go for other than the dragon. They're not too crucial now. You'll kill it before it burrows again. And I forget what I was doing here. Maybe I just unloaded a couple of the anguish stacks. I'm like something in my throat. But yeah, I think I unloaded a couple and then did AoE. Which is probably not even that optimal. I just wanted to take a turn, and I got to 912, and that's higher than I'd like. He killed Canderous, and there's the key revive with Jango, but Bo stayed alive, and it was good I got that bomb down, because you're just using it as a cleanse. When you blow it up, it cleanses, and here's really just trying to unload to get the rest of the damage. 5 stacks of Anguish is going to get it pretty close. As long as you land the vulnerable, that might be the frustrating pain point if you're not landing vulnerable. But the attacks it's going to do next are not that threatening. It's going to do its little headbutt, and it's going to swallow someone. The swallowing someone, I love when that happens because it doesn't do damage to you, and then the headbutt is the weakest. They weren't even in danger, and at this point you can just, I don't know, a slight breeze will kill the dragon, and I could have done much more damage here. But it actually did die there, so yeah, that's how it works. Kind of counterintuitive to hold off on damaging it and unloading it, but you want it to survive to just the right time. Otherwise it's going to mess you up, and I tried that a lot of times before I realized that you want to kind of stall out. So yeah, kind of weird, but if you don't stall out, it's going to kill you with that big acid attack, and you're not going to make it. But the fact that you can stall out, do less damage up front, and then end up winning, it should make this pretty repeatable. So let me know what you think, how this works for you. So yeah, in conclusion, I know this might be a niche use of the Maul team, but I tried using Beskar Mando, even following other guides for the longest time. Maybe I don't have the right mods or something, but this just seemed to be much easier to control. And if you're going to have to do this raid over and over again every 3 days, I think it's worth showing this because it might be just easier for you. And I don't know, maybe you don't have Beskar Mando up, but you got Jango, so who knows? Let me know what you think. If you did enjoy, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Peace. I'll see you later.